Jacobs Ladder hosted the Green Pavilion, and the Africa Green Jobs Pavilion, and the amount of overwhelming focus and interest in that made us realize that there's something that is required at a continental level, not just to talk about the challenges or to talk about the problems that we are facing, especially in addressing two of the most important challenges on the continent, which is youth unemployment and climate change, but there are solutions that are actually working. And so we managed to do that at the Africa Climate Summit as the hosts of the pavilion at the time. And we all know that COP32 will be held in Africa next year, not this year. And so what we are doing is we're trying to find a coalition of like thinkers on the continent, a coalition of actors that are solving for green skills, green jobs, and also working at the systems level, and be able to bring that coalition together to be able to do different things. For example, define what a green job actually is. I am completely against the kind of jobs that are defined to have been created and yet they cannot outlive the initial grant that has been given, or cannot outlive even the initial number of days where the program is implemented. We have to be able to define for ourselves what a green job actually is, decency and all that stuff. Secondly, like I said, building a coalition of actors is one of our objectives. Thirdly, can we be able to identify those models that can be scaled and adopted in different countries? Can we be able to track progress and state how we measure jobs on the continent? And so we're leveraging GreenWorks for Africa this year as a stepping stone into COP32, so that as we move into COP32, working with different governments, working with multilateral development organizations and institutions, working with academia, working with entrepreneurs or employers, coming together to be able to make sure that we are moving in the same direction and tracking our progress as we move along. And so GreenWorks for Africa, held in August in Nairobi this year, will be a stepping stone towards showcasing what works on the continent next year in COP32, because we know that it's very easy to host an event, a global event at that, like COP next year, and it results to be with in having an absence of an African position. And so this invitation to you and to everyone else who will be joining later, and anyone else who is not on the call but will watch this later, it's really for you to come on board and say, I want to be part of what will make Africa work, what will make an African perspective, or what will present an African's perspective of development, moving away from aid, moving away from tokenism, moving away from grants as the end all of the programs that are being run, to can we approach it from a blended finance? There are many conversation points and thematic areas that have been identified by the technical team. And there are those issues that are cutting across from policy to financing. But can we find innovative ways of making sure that as an African continent, we are defining our future and creating models that will outlive us and will actually work on the continent? So please don't see this as a one-time thing. We're not doing this just for the August event. It's a long game that we're doing. We're going all the way to COP and beyond, and we hope that you will be part of the coalition of actors that will be instrumental in shaping the future of Africa, because everyone is talking about sustainability, everyone is talking about addressing youth unemployment, but we have to define what that means for us and for our young people. And on that note, I'd like to welcome you to the beginning of this exercise, where we will be co-creating and working together. There are 6 thematic rooms. You can pick what is relevant to you, both here and in the future. And lastly, I'd also want to say that beyond the technical support that we need, because we wanted this to be a co-creation process, beyond the technical support, we do need the financial support, not just for the event itself, but we want to be able to develop instruments. Like, we are working on a Green Jobs Index. If you want to be part of that, we need technical support for that, but we also need financial support for us to be able to work on this together. We would love to be able to see a strong African representation at COP next year. And so we are thinking beyond this year's COP to and beyond even the COPs, to be able to begin to have this coalition of actors as one voice. I'm grateful to the AU that is already on board working with us. I'm grateful to the different partners that are coming on board, and we are looking forward to many of you supporting this initiative so that we can make it our collective initiative and not just one organization's initiative. On that note, I'll hand over back to Kato, and God bless you all and enjoy the deliberations. Back to you, Joanne, actually. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salah, for painting such a wonderful picture of why we're doing this and starring us to rise up and shape our own future. Thank you so much. And so without further ado, we will go straight into the agenda of the day, and I'll hand it over to my colleague, Kato Wambua, to take us through what does it look like for us to go towards this vision that we are pursuing. Welcome, Kato.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you, Sela, for setting the context for this inaugural GreenWorks for Africa Forum that we hope to host from the 11th to 13th of August in Nairobi, Kenya. We at Jacobs Lader Africa, we are very excited to be hosting this continental forum that will break from the traditional conferencing models, where you normally have lots of speeches and panelists and very little engagement from the actual participants. So we are looking forward to having GreenWorks for Africa being a holistic co-creation workshop event that will bring together all the various practitioners, policymakers, investors, young innovators, African governments to really collaborate, co-design actionable solutions and reforms that will enable the continent to produce green jobs and advance green economies across the continent. To do this, we are looking forward to having a very interactive format for the GreenWorks for Africa event and all the lead up to it in terms of the pre-convenings. And to do this, we are looking to have a very case study based approach whereby we can distill, collect the various African experiences, whether they're successful, emerging, or even giving us lessons on what not to do in terms of green jobs development across various sectors. And we hope that this case study approach will really ensure that we are producing discussions that are really ground truthed, that are based on the realities on the ground, on what we actually need to do to move forward. We will be having thematic rooms, as Sela mentioned, 6 of them, based on various key sectors for green growth across the continent. And these thematic rooms will really be the place for us to have discussions that will enable us to have systemic approaches to solutions on various issues that you as participants, as co-creators of this event, will be inputting into. Most importantly is that the forum in August will be having a collaboration cafe. And this will be an open plenary space at the forum to enable participants to really engage, to really align with each other on various concerns, including hosting side events, unveiling various new initiatives, making any new commitments that you have or you may be thinking of. So we want to urge all of you and your partners who will be coming on board in this process to really see the Collaboration Cafe as a very good space for you to really showcase what you want to contribute moving forward in terms of green jobs development in the continent. Now, as to the actual pillars for discussion in terms of the sectoral groupings, we're going to be having 6 of them. These 6 were selected following research on what are the sectors that represent the highest potential for green growth in the continent. But as well, we had an inception meeting where these sectors were considered and validated. And so we have 6 of them. The first one is on renewable energy and productive use of energy. The second is on e-mobility, green infrastructure, and urbanization. We also have climate resilient agriculture or smart agriculture or smart food systems. As you know, the continent is still primarily based on its economy in terms of agriculture. And so it's important that we discuss agriculture in terms of the green transition and what kind of green jobs can we produce in that very critical sector. We also have the circularity industry and waste systems, as well as natural capital and nature-based enterprises. And lastly, but not the least, industrialization, green manufacturing, and mining. And so we hope you can find some interest in what you do in one of these thematic sectoral groupings or pillars moving forward. Now, we don't want to just have discussions just on those sectors alone. We are hoping to discuss very cross-cutting and systemic concerns or approaches for each one of those sectors. And so we are going to be having 3 broad cross-cutting systemic pillars for the discussions that we're going to be having, be it in the pre-convening sessions and also at the actual forum in August. The 3 are: 1, finance, technology, innovation, and market systems. Here we will be looking at everything from fiscal policies, budgetary policies, financing models, taxation, trade issues, issues to do with how technology can be leveraged or is being leveraged to create new innovations and green jobs across the continent. The second pillar is on social systemic issues. And here we are going to be covering everything from around inclusion, especially for Africa's youth, women, and vulnerable groups. As you all know, our continent is extremely young, and we are facing a very massive gap in terms of jobs. That's why we have very high levels of youth unemployment. And so we have to start thinking also from a social perspective, what should be done to really address this as we cover various dynamic groups in the society. We also are looking in the same category to consider, of course, social protections in terms of, or in the advent of the green transition that we are going to be having or we are undergoing currently. We're also going to be lastly considering policy, regulatory, and governance systems. Here we are looking at various legislations, policies, be it for labor, be it on various issues to do with enterprise development. All of those issues, we will be looking at them. But one of the reasons why it is critical to consider this issue of policy and regulatory and governance systems is because you can do many good things in terms of, let's say, having good financing models that are working. But if the governance systems in our countries, in the continent, are lacking, then we will continuously have this gap in terms of what can be delivered versus what we are actually delivering. So those are the 2 sort of approaches we are going to be looking at all issues. We are going to be looking at things from a sectoral point of view in those 6 areas, but also systemically. So in those 3 broad categories. Now, the what are the things that we hope to produce from this GreenWorks for Africa Forum? The very first one is to have a very case-based or case study-based African toolkit for green jobs development. And this will be highlighting best practices from across the continent, from across various sectors, and addressing various systemic issues on what actually should be done to accelerate the pace of green jobs development, green skilling, and all of that. Importantly, we are also going to be tackling this very issue that Sela has underscored of how we define green jobs in the continent and ensuring that we actually have a green jobs taxonomical standard for Africa. Someone is. Thank you. So I was saying that as part of this GreenWorks for Africa, one of the outputs out of it will be addressing the question of how we define green jobs. And that's why we are looking forward to finally have clear green jobs taxonomical standard for the continent, cutting across various sectors and addressing various key systemic pillars. We are also hoping to have this forum as the major platform for announcement and making of major commitments by employers, investors, academia, governments on what they want to do in terms of advancing or creation of green jobs. And we're going to be having, therefore, a high level green jobs development event at the forum. And we hope to see all of you there. Kindly start thinking about what kind of commitments or announcements your organizations can make at this forum. It will be very exciting and very far-reaching in terms of our continental audience. The next major output that we are hoping you can all be part of is to create an alliance of actors or a coalition of actors, as Sela termed it, on green scaling and opportunities. And it's what we're calling AGSO, the Alliance for Green Skilling and Opportunities for Africa, which we hope to inaugurate at this event. And we are requesting all of you to again see it necessary to be part of this process and to really join forces so that we can synergize our approaches and delivery on how we create green jobs in our various perspectives. The other major thing that we want to achieve from this forum is to really create a method of accountability for all of us, be it governments, private sector, public sector entities, academia, all of us to really have a method of knowing what is the status of green jobs development across the continent. And this is important because we can have a lot of good work being done, but not knowing actually where we at and what are the gaps, what are the areas or countries or models that are really working. And so for this reason, we are looking forward to launch Africa's first Green Jobs Index, as well as a Green Jobs survey that will be continental at this event. We're also hoping, as I mentioned earlier, that you will be able to use the Collaboration Cafe to really pilot joint initiatives, collaborations, come up with new partnerships at this very event, which will be bringing more than 1,000 participants. from across the continent, from across all those various 6 subsectors or sectors of our economies. Now, the process or the roadmap to this event is as follows. First, we had an inception meeting that was held at the end of last month with a few key co-creators who helped us to validate the conceptualization or framing of the event. And we're very happy that those who participated in January, you're still with us, and we are asking the rest of you to join us moving forward to really co-own the making of this forum. As Stella mentioned, that it's not just for one institution or another, but to have a continental or Africa-wide movement to create a clear approach as to how we create green jobs. So today's pre-convening or general pre-convening was to give all of us an overview of what the forum is all about and the steps we are going to be taking towards achieving the objectives of the forum. Now, moving forward, we are going to be having a pre-convening phase, which will entail 3 pre-convenings, which will be on the basis of the 3 systemic areas. So we are going to be having 3 pre-convenings. One on finance, technology, innovation, and market systems, another on social systems, and another on policy, regulatory, and governance systems. The first one will be held on the 26th of March. The second one will be held on 30th of April, and the third will be held on 28th of May. And we'll be basically having all the 6 sectoral thematic working groups meeting, but to discuss those particular systemic policy framings. And these pre-convenings are going to be 2-hour virtual sessions. But prior to that, we are going to be having thematic sessions or meetings for really crystallizing what we want to agree on at the pre-convenings and finalizing the kind of discussions that we're going to be having. So we're going to be having 3 pre-convenings as well as prior meetings or thematic sessions prior to the pre-convenings. So that's the format in which we are taking the pre-convenings. From June and July, we are going to be having time to compile the various toolkits, as well as the taxonomical standards that will be presented at the main forum. And then we are going to have a physical or in-person 3-day forum for co-creation of these tools in Nairobi, Kenya, and we are very excited to host all of you. We will be having a logistical note shared in good time so that you can plan on your attendance. Now, what can you do to participate, and what kind of role can you take up in this pre-convening process? We're going to be having a lot of opportunity and roles that you can take up, including having some of you serving as sectoral co-chairs. So for each sector, we want to have at least 2 people chairing those sectors. We also are looking to have 2 persons to co-moderate for each sector. And those will be assisting the co-chairs in running both the thematic sessions prior to the pre-convenings, but also the actual pre-convenings and then the actual thematic rooms when we are at the main forum. So feel free to self-nominate. We are looking forward to having some of you already who attended the Inception Forum had indicated or gave us feedback as to wanting to take up some of these roles. And we are urging the rest of you who were not in the Inception Forum to also do so through filling in the Google form that is going to be shared and has been shared, I think, on the chat room by the technical team, and will also be shared as well at the thematic breakout rooms that we are going to briefly move into. Importantly, we are going to be having a call for submission of case studies, because our approach is to have very empirically driven solutions that are working on the ground, and hence the need for having this case study approach. And so we are going to be making a call for submission of case studies, the template for which will also be shared and will be formally announced on next week on Wednesday. You'll be able to submit this through the website for the GreenWorks for Africa event. There is also going to be a briefing note that we are going to share with all of you after this event or after today's general pre-convening, that will help all of us to understand what are the key issues that we want to address or unpack during the discussions. Feel free to revise, review, and add to the issues that are in that briefing note. So kindly, even as we continue, take time to fill in the Google form. The Google form will not take you, I think, more than 5 minutes to answer. It has various options in terms of multiple choices. You are free to serve in or to be in more than one of the thematic or sectoral groupings, but kindly choose at least one main one that you will focus on as much as possible, so that you can give full value to the cause in terms of your expertise and interest. Now, as to what we are going to do today, we are going to break into thematic rooms or breakout rooms that are going to be on your screen shortly. This is going to be, we're going to be in them for 15 minutes. And what we are asking you to do is, first and foremost, introduce yourself, because we have many of us here. I can see we are 100 or so people. So kindly share your name, your organization, your designation, and the country you're operating from or the region you're operating from. We are aware that some of you are working entirely across the continent. So if you don't have a very specific country, just include either the sub-region or the continent if your operations are that wide. So kindly introduce yourself in the chat function. We will not be able to have all of you introduce yourselves by speaking in the thematic rooms, but click into the chat function and just state your name, your organization, designation, and country or region. And then, as I've mentioned earlier, let's fill in the Google form, whose link is available as well. And will also be posted in the thematic rooms when we begin. Lastly, we will be asking you to self-nominate, those who haven't from the Inception Forum, to self-nominate for various roles. And the roles are, again, being serving as a sectoral co-chair or co-moderator, or being a case study presenter, We want as many case study presenters as possible. Kindly bring forth your case studies or models that have actually worked or which have not worked, and which will inform us as to what to avoid, and will all then be selected and eventually be presented at the forum, as well as informing the development of the actual toolkit that we are saying is going to be very case-based. Lastly, if you're not falling within any of those three first roles, we urge all of you to be thematic discussants because we appreciate that you have a lot of wealth of expertise and knowledge. And kindly fill in that. We are requesting that you raise your hand in the chat rooms. There will be a button at the bottom with three dots. Which has the title More. When you click on it, you'll be able to see raise hand, and just raise your hand as you're being asked by the person leading the breakout rooms. The thematic rooms, again, are renewable energy and productive use of energy. The second one is e-mobility, green infrastructure, and urbanization. The next one is climate resilient and smart agriculture or food systems. Circularity industry and waste systems is the fourth, as well as natural capital and nature-based enterprises. And lastly, industrial decarbonization, green manufacturing, and mining. So we urge all of you to choose one of these thematic rooms, which should now we can have them, Joanne, shown so that we move into the rooms. This will be for 15 minutes. Um, um, and then we can be able to participate. Kindly fill in the form even as we continue to participate in the thematic breakout rooms. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kato. I just want to highlight that there have been a few questions in the chat, and so perhaps we can take those before we go into the breakout rooms. Kato, so I'll just read them out and then we can respond to a few of the issues that have been raised. So one, Faith Ngige asked, where does training and capacity building fall under cross-cutting issues?
So the issue of training and qualifications, systems, or even green skilling generally, is falling on the third one, which is policy, regulatory, and governance systems. So if you're interested around, for example, those who are interested in training curriculums, design of, you know, green skilling methodologies, feel free to participate in the policy, regulatory, and governance systems. The social systems is the one for issues to do with social inclusion and protections. And then the finance one, I think, is self-explanatory with tech, market systems, and innovation.
All right, thank you, Kato. I think we had a similar question on what is the plan to center gender issues across the pillars, given that COP30 has adopted the 10-year gender plan.
So that's why we are hoping to have all those discussions on gender mainstreaming in the social systems pillar. So the pre-convening for social systems will be tackling that for each of those six sectors.
All right. Thank you for the clarifications, Kato. We also just have a comment around whether this work will consider how to improve outcomes of those engaged in the informal sector, as well as being able to transition them into formal jobs. So I think just, will there be a conversation around the informal versus formal sectors?
Yes, and that will be discussed both as a policy concern, because it's a question of what kind of labor mobility and categorizations that we have. But at the same time, it should be discussed in each one of those sectors, because in all the sectors we have an aspect of formal and informal.
All right, great. Thank you, Kato. I think we also had comments on the chat agreeing with the direction being taken in terms of Africa has the opportunity to leverage its natural resources, human capital, innovation, and opportunities to be able to mobilize and invest its own resources strategically. And also a comment from Matthew saying it's a super timely initiative, particularly with the shifting funding landscapes and the larger call to move Africa towards grounded perspectives that come from research and innovation. And so I think people just double clicking in terms of the direction we are taking. We appreciate that so much. So I think we can then proceed to the breakout rooms if there are no further questions. I do see one last question that I do want to take because it is appropriate for the thematic areas. Veronica is asking which thematic area would be appropriate from an employer perspective, since they cut across all the thematic areas.
Thank you for that. So in terms of employers, as you appreciate, they are very cross-cutting in all the sectors. We have employers and they have various concerns that are very specific to not just those sectors, but they also have concerns that are systemic. Be it from, for example, from a policy point of view. So feel free, or even a social point of view, or even from finance, technology, innovation, and market systems perspectives. So feel free to join the thematic room that best fits you as an employer of a particular sector. But we appreciate that there are those, for example, representing, for example, associations of employers, and their role is very cross-cutting. So we hope you can actually even bring more people from your organization to sit in the various thematic rooms and assign them based on their expertise.
That's clear, Kato. Thank you very much. I think we can now move to the breakout rooms. The 6 thematic areas will be presented as options, and you have the ability to choose which room or which thematic area you want to engage in. So I'll just go ahead and open the rooms. We will have a Jacob's Ladder Africa representative that is helping to steward the room and will facilitate it as well. And so then we will just go ahead to join the rooms. The rooms are now open.
Hello, everyone. Kindly let's all join the breakout rooms. On your screen, you should have an option of joining a breakout room.
Sorry, this option is not coming to mine. I'm not just getting that option under my screen. There is nothing.
I think Cynthia, you can prompt that again. Meanwhile, just check whether it's coming up on your screen. Prof. Mutundu, are you okay? Do you see the prompt on your side?
Prompt, no.
Hello, I can also not see that of climate resilience as well as smart agriculture. It's not popping up. I didn't see that.
Okay, let's just let me know which group you want to join, and I will sort you out. Just to
Okay, this is Dr. Aminu Zakari from Center for Climate Change and Environmental Studies. I want to join climate resilience and smart agriculture.
Okay, great. Let me move you to that group. Anyone else?
I want to join the first option. I think that is QE.
Let me see which group that is. You want to join group number
1.
Group number 1. Okay. This is Jean. I hope I said that correctly. Yep.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, the same way also I want to join the smart agriculture group.
Okay, let me assign that.
Hello?
Hello.
Please, I want to join. My name is Kilo Basmako.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to join the climate smart agriculture and renewable energy.
You can only join one. Cynthia, could you
Okay,
help?
renewable energy.
Could you help Kiliobas to join climate smart agriculture?
Yes. What's the name again? Sorry.
He's speaking right now. He's unmuted. This is Kiliobas Bako.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everyone else?
Yes, I'm yet to be moved to the climate resilience and smart agriculture because I still found myself here.
This is the main room, so you're not in any room right now. So we're trying to move you to the right one. Cynthia?
Just a moment.
Okay, great. And Dr. Aminu, you don't see a prompt on your screen, right?
No, no prompt here to join.
Okay, Cynthia will sort you out shortly.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, which room do you want to move to?
Climate resilience and smart agriculture.
Okay,
The first group.
Okay.
Got the prompt? Great. Cynthia, I trust you've sorted him out.
Yes, I have. Anyone
Then I
else?
see Chibueze. Please move Chibueze to renewable energy. He's on the participant list, you can see. And then Ronald Ouma wants to move to smart agriculture as well. Everyone else on this call, please chat or speak up and we'll make sure you join the right group.
Makena, please tell me again which room to put Chibweze?
Renewable energy.
Okay, he has. Anyone else?
Yes, Ronald Ouma, smart agriculture. Great. Women for Change, Cameroon.
Yeah, present. Sorry, I can see. Good morning. So my name is Lori. I'm representing Women for a Change. So I have seen the breakout sessions and I tried joining renewable energy, but it sent me out and brought me back here again. So I'll be needing help.
No
Yes,
worries, no worries.
I've
Yeah,
moved
we're on
her.
it. Okay, great. If you see the prompt, let us know and you can move. Ibrahim, Kiliobas Bako is still here. Cynthia?
I sent the link, but they've not joined the room.
Yet. Okay, great. Everyone else, please let us know which breakout room you would like to join, and Cynthia will sort you out. Prof. Kennedy Mutundu, everything okay? Women for a
No.
Change. Are you good now?
Oh, nope. Am I already in the breakout session?
There was a prompt sent to you by Cynthia. I think she should resend it if let me just assign you. Which group do you want to join?
Renewable energy.
Okay. Do you see the prompt
Climate.
on your screen?
Yeah, I can, but the issue is that when I click on the prompt, it takes me out of the meeting completely, and I need to come back here in order to rejoin the meeting.
Could you try again now?
All right, let me do so.
Okay. Great. Anyone else? I see Fantahon, you're unmuted.
Yeah, I was lost in between and I am just coming in.
Okay, which group would you like to join?
I was on the circularity and the waste management system.
Okay, I think you've moved already. Cynthia, you helped me with that one, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
Thank you. Right, so Fantahon, you should be able to join. Ibrahim, Kiliobas. Let's see, Women for a Change is sorted. All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you all. If you have a challenge, please let us know so we are able to move you. Time is up. So thank you, Cynthia. Thank you all.
Hi, Cynthia, are you there? Hello?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, hi, Cynthia. I'm really struggling. I still cannot join the group. This is Banu from FSD Africa.
Okay.
I was trying to join the nature one, the nature-based solutions, but I don't see the options on the screen.
Okay, but you can just fill in the form, which is what is happening in the breakout room. So what's just happening in the breakout rooms is people filling in the form.
Oh, I see. Okay,
But
so all right, no worries. So I thought there was a discussion going on into the breakout rooms, but let me just wait for the main plenary to come back again, and then we can pick it up from there.
all right.
Thank you.
Hi, Banu. Hope you're well. And sorry, we have just concluded the natural capital, and nature-based enterprises one. But I will definitely follow up with you just to ensure you're fully abreast.
Who was I speaking to?
This is Kato Wambua from JLA.
Okay, Kato, I think I missed because there was a bit of a technical, I couldn't because I was on the YouTube link and not this one.
Yeah,
So no worries. I think we can just have a offline chat later on.
no problem. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Cynthia. Am I the only one here?
No, you are not the only one. We are many.
Yeah, we are many.
All right,
Around 80
fine.
participants.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we've all come back from our breakout rooms. I trust we had an engaging session, filling the form, expressing our interest in the different thematic areas, getting to know each other, as well as being able to self-nominate. I would like to say for our room, we had self-nominations for all the roles as well as case study presenters. So I am very encouraged by the engagement so far, and I hope it's the same across the other breakout rooms. Something that did come up in our breakout room is a question of, can we invite other people to the convenings? Can we share the form with other people? And can we also recommend or nominate people who we think would be a good fit in terms of case studies? And the answer is yes. This is just the first general convening for us to have a picture of what the roadmap to August looks like. And if anyone comes to mind that's a good fit within the different thematic areas, please feel free to invite them, share the link to the Google form, let them express interest. If you know someone with a case study that would be beneficial for the thematic rooms to explore and learn from, also please share that so that we are continually building with as many resources and knowledge as we have access to. So that is a yes, and I'll just want to encourage everyone else in the different rooms to take that approach. All right, so I'll hand it back to my colleague Kato to wind us out in terms of what are the next steps from here. and then we'll soon be calling it a day. Over to you, Kato.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you everyone for your wonderful participation in the breakout rooms. We are very encouraged, and we hope that you will, those of you who have not filled in the Google form, will kindly do so, so that we can have as many opportunities to participate and engage moving forward. In terms of the steps or the next steps from here, is that first we will be having on Wednesday a call for submissions that will be live on our website for this event, and all of you will receive an email from the GreenWorks Secretariat inviting you to submit case studies. The deadline, this will go on all the way until end of May. And it will help us to then generate the kind of case-based toolkit that we hope to come out with from this process. Secondly, is we're going to be having thematic sessions for preparing ourselves to hold the 3 pre-convenings that is at the end of March, end of April, and end of May. So for those thematic sessions, the commencement of which we are going to be communicating again through the emails from the GreenWorks Secretariat. So keep checking, keep engaging, keep sharing the Google form to any of your partners. Ask them to participate, and we look forward to really having a very rich process that really brings together all of us from across various sectors and across various countries in the continent. And we want to thank all of you so much for taking your time to be part of this process. Lastly, let me start encouraging all of us to start preparing to attend the forum, the main forum in Nairobi, Kenya. So we will be sending out, as I mentioned, a logistical note at a later point to help us to start preparing for the same. So thank you very much, and have a very blessed weekend, and asanteni sana from all of us at JLA.
All right. Thank you so much. Cynthia, just a moment. There was just one last question, Kato, directed to you. Is there a limit to the thematic case studies that a room can have?
No. So we are going to be asking as many case studies to be submitted, so that then we will look through them and select. There will be a criteria that will be in the call for submission on Wednesday that will help in what kind of case studies should be submitted, but also which ones eventually will be selected to represent the best of practice and lessons learned for various sectors. So let's present as many case studies as possible. Thank you.
All right, that's clear. A follow-up question is, how many case studies will be selected?
We are looking forward to having a very good mix of case studies representing all the various sectors. And so that will be dependent on, first, how many case studies will be submitted, but secondly, looking at the kind of spread in terms of sectoral representation, regions, and systemic issues. So that will be the actual criteria for it will be very clearly outlined in the call for submission on Wednesday.
All right, that's clear. I don't see any other questions on the chat, so I trust we are all aligned on the same page. And so without keeping you further, we have saved 10 minutes that we can spend building the future we want for Africa. And so allow me to say thank you very much on behalf of Jacob's Ladder Africa. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to engaging with you in the thematic pre-convenings. As Kato has mentioned, we should have one monthly for the next 3 months, and so we will be in touch via the Secretariat to give you the details of that, as well as the case studies submission call. So all that information will be coming your way, and we look forward to what we can build together. Have a lovely day. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Friday. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Zikomo kwa mbili.
Asante
sana.
Thank you so much. Asante, shukran sana.
Asante sana.
እናመሰግናለን። In Amharic.
Amesekenalo.
Namaste.
Babanen in Wolof. Babanen.
Okay.
Akoze, that's in Kirundi.
Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.